So I'm gonna read a chapter out of the Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. Just because when I opened this, it really, I don't know, it was at the front of Barnes and Nobles, and it felt like it was speaking to me as far as what we're experiencing on Farcaster and bass and things like that. So let me dive into it. It looks like most of these are easy reads, like these self help books and things like that. I haven't done a live reading in a long time, so give me like I need like a warm up. I need to warm up. The object isn't to make art. It's to be in that wonderful state which makes art inevitable. Robert Henry. There's quite a lot of chapters in this, and you know, when choosing a book, it's like how do you ever choose a book? Do you read the first sentence of every paragraph, or do you read the cover letter, or I mean, do you read the summary in the back, or do you read the author's notes before? You know, how do you choose which book you would like to open up and kind of dive into? So for me, I mean, I opened up the table of contents and just perused the chapter titles, and then jumped to a chapter that looked interesting to me and kind of read from there, and that's how I made this decision. So I didn't look very far for this one in particular. Again, we're reading The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. And the first chapter is called Everyone is a Creator. And I thought about that and I was like, okay, yeah, I feel like this is definitely speaking to me. You know, Danny, go get this. This is you know, I write things to stir the pot a little bit on the timeline, but I'd rather not complain. You know, I'd rather live a life more of positivity, 100%. So let's dive in. Let's learn a little bit about what everyone is a creator could actually mean, according to Rick Rubin. Okay. I have a whole soundboard here. I used to be good at this. Give me 1 second. Chapter 1. Everyone is a creator. Now, before we get into it, there's a foreword, and it's as follows. Nothing in this book is known to be true. It's a reflection on what I've noticed, not facts so much as thoughts. Some ideas may resonate, others may not. A few may awaken an inner knowing you forgot you had. Use what's helpful. Let go of the rest. Each of these moments is an invitation to further inquiry, looking deeper, zooming out, or in, opening possibilities for a new way of being. Chapter 1. Everyone is a creator. Those who do not engage in the traditional arts might be wary of calling themselves artists. They might perceive creativity as something extraordinary or beyond their capabilities, a calling for the special few who are born with these gifts. Fortunately, this is not the case. Creativity is not a rare ability. It is not difficult to access. Creativity is a fundamental aspect of being human. It's our birthright, and it's for all of us. Creativity doesn't exclusively relate to making art. We all engage in this act on a daily basis. To create is to bring something into existence that wasn't there before. It could be a conversation, the solution to a problem, a note to a friend, the rearrangement of furniture in a room, a new route home to avoid a traffic jam. What you make doesn't have to be witnessed, recorded, sold, or encased in glass for it to be a work of art. Through the ordinary state of being, we are already creators in the most profound way, creating our experience of reality and composing the world we perceive. In each moment, sorry, this seat, man, this seat, hold on. In each moment, we are immersed in a field of undifferentiated matter from which our senses gather bits of information. The outside universe we perceive doesn't exist as such. Through a series of electrical and chemical reactions, we generate a reality internally. We create forests and oceans, warmth and cold. We read words, hear voices, and form interpretations. Then, in an instant, we produce a response. All of this in a world of our own creation. Regardless of whether or not we're formally making art, we are all living as artists. We perceive, filter, and collect data, then curate an experience for ourselves and others based on this information set. Whether we do this consciously or unconsciously, by the mere fact of being alive, we are active participants in the ongoing process of creation. To live as an artist is a way of being in the world, a way of perceiving, a practice of paying attention, refining our sensitivity to tune in the more subtle notes, looking for what draws us in and what pushes us away, and noticing what feeling tones arise and where they lead. A tuned choice by a tuned choice. Your entire life is a form of self-expression. You exist as a creative being in a creative universe, a singular work of art. All right, just laying the foundations down for what creativity is. I respect it. Again, I haven't really read any of these books before we're diving into them, so my cadence is, you're going to have to kind of just be patient, but we'll get it down. How was that, though? Is anybody even here? Am I talking to myself? Might just be me. That's all good. Atomic Habits. Oh, I really appreciate you sharing it. Thank you, Hamalama. Swish, shout out to Atomic Habits with James Clear. My dogs are going crazy. Hold on. No, being sick sucks. I hate being sick. Damn. What is up, Hamalama? What is up, dude? All right, well, we finished chapter 1, and I have like 90% oxygen efficiency right now. my lungs. All right, chapter 2. I mean, this book I'm gonna finish in a day, pretty much. This size 18 font, 2 paragraphs per page. Chapter 2. Tuning in. Think of the universe as an eternal creative unfolding. Trees blossom, cells replicate, rivers forge new tributaries. The world pulses with productive energy, and everything that exists on this planet is driven by that energy. Every manifestation of this unfolding is doing its own work on behalf of the universe, each in its own way, true to its own creative impulse. Just as trees grow flowers and fruits, humanity creates works of art. The Golden Gate Bridge, the White Album, Guernica, Hagia Sophia, the Sphinx, the Space Shuttle, the Autobahn, Claire de Lune, the Colosseum in Rome, the Phillips screwdriver, the iPad, Philadelphia cheesesteak. Look around you. There are so many remarkable accomplishments to appreciate. Each of these is humanity being true to itself, as a hummingbird is true to itself by building a nest, a peach tree by bearing fruit, and a nimbus cloud by producing rain. Every nest, every peach, every raindrop, and every great work is different. Some trees may appear to make more beautiful fruits than others, and some humans may appear to compose greater works than others. The taste and beauty are in the eye of the beholder. How does the cloud know when to rain? How does the tree know when spring begins? How does the bird know when it's time to build a new nest? The universe functions like a clock. To everything, there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep, a time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. And these rhythms are not set by us. We are all participating in a large creative act we are not conducting. We are being conducted. The artist is on a cosmic timetable, just like all of nature. If you have an idea you're excited about and you don't bring it to life, it's not uncommon for the idea to find its voice through another maker. This isn't because the other artist stole your idea, but because the idea's time has come. In this great unfolding, ideas and thoughts, themes and songs, and other works of art exist in the ether and ripen on schedule, ready to find expression in the physical world. As artists, it is our job to draw down this information, transmute it, and share it. We are all translators for for messages the universe is broadcasting. The best artists tend to be the ones with the most sensitive antenna to draw on the energy resonating at a particular moment. Many great artists first develop sensitive antenna not to create art, but to protect themselves. They have to protect themselves because everything hurts more. They feel everything more deeply. Often, art arrives in movements. Bauhaus architecture, abstract expressionism, French New Wave cinema, beat poetry, punk rock, to name a few from recent history. These movements appear like a wave. Some artists are able to read the culture and position themselves to ride that swell. Others might see the wave and choose to swim against the current. We are all antenna for creative thought. Some transmissions come on strong, others are more faint. If your antenna isn't sensitively tuned, you're likely to lose the data in the noise. particularly since the signals coming through are often more subtle than the content we collect through sensory through sensory awareness. They are energetic more than tactile, intuitively perceived more than consciously recorded. Most of the time, we are gathering data from the world through the five senses. With the information that's being transmitted on higher frequencies, we are channeling energetic material that can't be physically grasped. It defies logic, in the same way that an electron can be in two places at once. This elusive energy is of great worth, though so few people are often, though so few people are open enough to hold it. How do we pick up on a signal that can neither be heard nor be defined? The answer is not to look for it, nor do we attempt to predict or analyze our way into it. Instead, we create an open space that allows it. A space so free of the normal overpacked condition of our minds that it functions as a vacuum, drawing down the ideas that the universe is making available. This freedom is not as difficult to achieve as one might think. We all start with it. As children, we experience much less interference between receiving ideas and internalizing them. We accept new information with delight instead of making comparisons to what we already believe. We live in the moment rather than worrying about future consequences. We are spontaneous more than analytical. We are curious, not jaded. Even the most ordinary experiences in life are met with a sense of awe. Deep sadness and intense excitement can come within moments of each other. There's no facade and no attachment to a story. Artists who are able to continually create great works throughout their lives often manage to preserve these childlike qualities. Practicing a way of being that allows you to see the world through uncorrupted, innocent eyes can free you to act in concert with the universe's timetable. All right, I mean, flowing into it, I feel it, I feel it. Tuning in, and that was the name of that chapter. All right, we're going to close this book, The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. Closing it, we're going to hop into the one that Cenat's actually reading. I think it's actually The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Let's do it. Oh, excuse me. Get some strawberries real quick. Strawberries. I just bought this kefir apple spread. I don't know, but it's banging. Shoot, I don't have a trash can, dude. All good. All right. I'm interested in how energy is perceived in all these written messages we send. There's a lot of ether. Is it ether? A-E-T-H-E-R. Let me double check. Yeah, it's
Ether.
okay, okay. To transverse when you write a message and send it over the web. I don't know, because I've always felt like context is lost in a lot of like messages. So I've never taken it with too like I don't know I don't take it too deeply. Like as I get older, I kind of take it a little bit. I read into things way more than when I was younger, for some reason. Like like smack talk on the web hits me different nowadays for sure. Even when I'm reading other people's chats, or like if I'm in Twitch chat and I'm just reading how some people treat some of these streamers, I'm like, man, like why do I feel a certain way right now? But that's as I got older, which is strange because when I was young, I didn't feel that way at all. Everything was just a joke. You know what I mean? It was really like you get mad, you lose. And that was the fundamentals to it. Like in Arc Raiders right now, there's a lot of energy being sent over those voice comms and proximity chat, right? More so than ever before, I think. So that's a lot of energy into the world, right? Is that what we're talking about here? Whoever told Kai Cenat that you have to read books in order to speak well or better, I hope it translates. I don't know, man. Reading books is just good for you, but I don't know if it makes you a better speaker, does it? I guess it does. He's like looking up everything too, so it's all positive. Yeah, for sure. Voice transmits energy too. Video games can be brutal. Noise is quite literally energy. Yeah, quite literally, quite literally. Yeah, and Arc Raiders has kind of opened up like a new corridor into the amount of voice comms that we used to experience. Like, man, if you ever get a chance, just turn on Twitch, go to the browse section, go to the games, go to Arc Raiders, and honestly, turn on anybody's stream, and you'll see how toxic that game is, and we all accept it. I mean, it's like oh, it's part of the game now. Like you have like the voice communication things. Yeah, Arc Raiders has proximity chat, and it's interesting because like a lot of games have introduced proximity chat, and it doesn't really people choose to ignore it or whatever. But something about Arc Raiders has made the wider community feel very comfortable in just accepting that this is part of the gameplay. You know what I mean? Maybe it's because they integrated like voice maskers in the very beginning. I don't know what it was, but a lot of people are using their microphones in that game more so than any other game I've ever witnessed, honestly. And it's super casual. You have a lot of people just, you know, playing it that you wouldn't expect. I don't even know what Toltec wisdom means. Hold on, let me look this up. Toltec wisdom. The Toltec culture was a pre Columbian Mesoamerican culture that ruled the state centered in Tula, Hidalgo, Mexico. Okay, okay. So this is where we're getting this knowledge. Learn how to break free from self. You know, all respect to everybody, but every time I think about this kind of stuff, I'm like, this is exactly why I smoke weed, man. And I'm pretty sure they smoked a lot of weed too, like like these cultures down there. I don't take myself seriously at all. The spiffing Brit trolled a ton of people on it, setting mines on the expo spot. I have never heard of that YouTuber, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm on Twitch a lot. Like the YouTube industry or whatever is just I don't even know anybody. I don't know big names at all, man. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, or I have a shit memory already, but yo, check out this candle I bought. Check out this candle I bought. Can you even see it? Holy shit. It looks like a donut. I had to buy it. Damn, you can't even see it. Hold on. My fucking background thing is crazy good. You saw it, right? Isn't that crazy, man? It smells like a donut too. I literally had to buy it. Oh shit. Well, I appreciate you tuning in, dude. You're on your phone. All right. Smells crazy. Now I'm craving a donut. All right. Jumping into this next book. All right, I'm recording. The plan here is to just throw it into R&B channel and then onto YouTube as well. Do I have to start like a secret YouTube channel? My YouTube channel is dry, dude. I don't think how do I even access it? I'm gonna end up like leaking information. I already know. I'm not used to streaming. Whoa, I got 11 subscribers. What the heck? Oh, what the hell did I stream before? What is this? C++ compiler variables adding two numbers? The fuck? Okay. This is definitely not me. This is definitely not me. Okay, this is definitely not me. That's funny. I was like, bro, I smoke a lot of weed, but I know I don't smoke this much weed. It doesn't even sound like me. I appreciate whoever is doing that. I think I don't know if I appreciate it. I think I appreciate it, dude. Do whatever. I'm not copy striking anything. All right. What am I gonna do? I'll deal with the YouTube channel shit later, I guess. I'll do that off stream. Dude, no one likes to read a book? This is crazy. Oh, what the heck? This book is really short. The Four Agreements. It's really short. I think I'm going to finish it in 30 minutes. It's 12:41 right now. If I wasn't sick, holy cow. If I wasn't sick. The Four Agreements. I don't know if this is the Four Agreements, but right here on the cover, it says, "Be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. Always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best, and you will avoid self judgment, self abuse, and regret. Okay. All right. Those are tough, man. Those are tough, dude. I'm only a human being, bro. That's tough, dude. To the circle of fire, those who have gone before, those who are present, and those who have yet to come. Okay. There are 7 chapters, and then at the end, there's a prayer, or there's a few prayers. I didn't really look through this book because I figured we were just going to buy it. Interesting. Okay, so there's a prayer at the end. Is this a Christian book? What is this? This is interesting. I'm gonna look it up. Is Don Miguel Ruiz Christian? Okay, still alive. What is that? The first pop up, dude? Okay. He looks pretty alive, bro. Don Miguel Ruiz is often described as a spiritualist and is that ager? And he sees God everywhere, but not specifically within the confines of organized religion. This suggests that he may not identify as strictly as a Christian. His teachings, particularly in the my pop-ups, focus on spiritual growth rather than traditional religious frameworks. But why is there a prayer? Dude, I just put everything in the Google search, and then I just go full potato. The prayers in his books are not just for religious observance, but are also meant to guide individuals in their personal spiritual journey and help them live in alignment with their true selves. Okay. All right, I feel like we're saying a bunch of nothing, like trying to grasp onto the message, and I feel like I'm just like it's like holding on to air or something. All right, what did Jesse post? Oh, of course, bases for traders, dude. Amazing post, Jesse, bro. Like, amazing post, bro. Amazing post, man. Was this in the 4 agreements? Am I allowed to do that? Let me see. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. That was a dog water post, Jesse. Like I can't even lie, bro. You've been posting. Look at your post, man. Oh wait, hold on. This looks important. TLDR, we're focusing the base app to be trading first to drive demand and distribution for a full range of assets and to be the best app for whatever you do in the on-chain economy. This is not TLDR. This is really long. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's read this before we get into the 4 agreements. TLDR, we're focusing the base app to be trading first to drive demand and distribution for a full range of assets and to be the best app for whatever you do in the on-chain economy. Since announcing the base app in July, hundreds of thousands of you have used the app to create, trade, save, spend, and build. Seeing the adoption has been incredible. We've also heard clear feedback about what's landing and isn't. Have you heard? Have you heard? It'd be nice if you acknowledged, you know what I mean? Like, are you just secretly like reading it and not acknowledging it? You don't even like the post, man. If you don't even like the post, how do we know? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we know what's landing? 3 themes stand out. The app felt overly focused on social. It came across as too close to Web 2 and didn't show support for the full breadth of assets that people want to trade. Everyone wants more high quality assets. In general, there is a desire to engage with and trade high quality assets. This is the most important opportunity as we bring capital markets on chain. That's why Jesse launched Jesse Coin and all those other shit coins, right? The feed needs to surface everything. Having a feed of what's happening on chain is a good idea, but it needs to surface apps, stocks, predictions, social tokens, and more. In a world where everything is tokenized and tradable, the single most valuable thing we can do is drive demand and distribution to everyone. That's exactly what the base app is going to do. We're going to make the base app the best place to trade and use every asset. Concretely, this means we're going to build for trading first. Having trading as our primary focus will help us bring demand and capital for all rapidly growing asset classes in the economy. We're going to bring more high quality assets on chain. To best serve the trading use case, we're going to make a broader range of assets available. We're going to lean into a finance first UX. We believe it makes more sense to layer social features on top of finance than the other way around. This means we'll continue to experiment with features like copy trading, feed trading, and leaderboards. This is going to be hugely additive to the base economy because it's going to drive more capital and users to every asset and app. Base app will be the best self-custodial wallet to trade and use every asset, globally accessible with fast, simple onboarding for everyone, everywhere. Base chain will continue to be the best chain to build anything, now supercharged with even more distribution. We're building this together in the open, and seeing how people use the app keeps teaching us what matters most. Thank you for the continued feedback. Stay based. Dude, my heart hurts, man. Like, oh, I have no hope. I got no hope for this guy, dude. I don't even care, man. Like, what grades do these guys get? How are these our leaders, man? How did they get chosen? Like, what is happening, dude? I choose Basil. I choose Basil. Two. Well, we only have access to Jesse Coin right now, dude. So once we get access to the high class, whatever, the UX, just more words. It was just more words, man. All right, did I already break the Toltec wisdom? Don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. Dude, this is going to be a really difficult book for me. I break this thing. I think I break these laws over and over again. Don't make assumptions. Dang it, dude. Shit. I need our leaders to live under the Toltec wisdom so I can live more under the Toltec wisdom or whatever. Like, it's like a Ponzi scheme of wisdom, bro. Like, how can I live like this if other people aren't living like this? I'm always going to have some kind of like, maybe we just got to read. We just got to dive into it. We just got to dive into it. I'm tired. I am not enjoying my time on base. I feel like a punishment. Like I'm punishing myself for some reason. I don't even know why I'm punishing myself. Well, let's just dive into the book. The Four Agreements. Official reading by Don Miguel Ruiz with Janet Mills. I don't know what with means. Like, do they share half a keyboard together? Or was she talking while he was typing? She's not even on any other mentions until like this third page in size 12 font. That is rough, dude. I'm not allowed to make an assumption, though, dude. No worries. Chapter 1, Domestication and the Dream of the Planet. Chapter 2, The First Agreement. Be impeccable with your word. The Second Agreement. Chapter 3, Don't take anything personally. Chapter 4, The Third Agreement. Don't make assumptions. Chapter 5, Always do your best. Chapter 6, The Toltec Path to Freedom. Breaking old agreements. And Chapter 7, The New Dream, Heaven on Earth. And then again, the final prayer at the end. All right. Diving on into this. Let's do it. Appreciate you sticking around, Hamalama. Acknowledgements. I would like to humbly acknowledge my mother, Sarita, who taught me unconditional love. My father, Jose Luis, who taught me discipline. My grandfather, Leonardo Macia? Should I look that up? I mean, it's his last name, bro. Like, if I butchered it, I'll respect out to the Macias, who gave me the key to unlock the Toltec mysteries, and my sons Miguel, Jose Luis, and Leonardo. I wish to express my deep affection and appreciation to the dedication of Gaia Jenkins and Trey Jenkins. I would like to extend my profound gratitude to Janet Mills, publisher, editor, believer. I am also abidingly grateful to Ray Chambers for lighting the way. I would like to honor my dear friend Ginny Gentry, an amazing brain whose faith touched my heart. I would like to pay tribute to the many people who have given freely of their time, hearts, and resources to support the teachings. A partial list includes, yo, shout out to this partial list, yo. But this is a lot of different names, man. Like, shout out to these people. Shout outs. That's the acknowledgement. The Toltec, Chapter 1. Thousands of years ago, the Toltec were known throughout southern Mexico as women and men of knowledge. Anthropologists have spoken of the Toltec as a nation or a race, but, in fact, the Toltec were scientists and artists who formed a society to explore and conserve the spiritual knowledge and practices of the ancient ones. They came together as masters, or naguls. Yeah, let's go ahead and look up the pronunciation of some of these things. Nagals? Because, we're on that growth arc time. Nawal. Okay. Yeah, Nawal. Spiritual figure or shaman in the Mesoamerican culture. That they came together as masters, Nawals, and students at Teotihuacan. Good Lord Almighty. Yes, this one. Pronunciation used to just be right here. It used to be so easy. Now you really have to search for it.
Teotihuacan.
Okay. Yeah, I expected an AI voice, but that literally sounded like my next door neighbor, dude. That was way too funny. Let's play it again.
Teotihuacan.
Teotihuacan. Okay, Teotihuacan. Teotihuacan, the ancient city of pyramids outside Mexico City, known as the place where man becomes God. That's too funny. All right. Dude, hearts to Basil. Over the millennia, the Nawals were forced to conceal the ancestral wisdom and maintain its existence in obscurity. European conquest, coupled with rampant misuse of personal power by a few of the apprentices, made it necessary to shield the knowledge from those who were not prepared to use it wisely, or who might intentionally misuse it for personal gain. Fortunately, the esoteric Toltec knowledge was embodied and passed on through generations by different lineages of Nawals. Though it remained veiled in secrecy for hundreds of years, ancient prophecies foretold the coming of an age when it would be necessary to return the wisdom to the people. Now, Don Miguel Ruiz, a Nawal from the Eagle Knight lineage, has been guided to share with us the powerful teachings of the Toltec. Toltec knowledge arises from the same essential unity of truth as all the sacred esoteric traditions found around the world. Though it is not a religion, it honors all the spiritual masters who have taught on the earth. While it does embrace spirit, it is most accurately described as a way of life, distinguished by the ready accessibility of happiness and love. All right. Let's look it up, dude. Pretty, I mean, it's just lost in translation. I'm scared to Google that exact what you just typed. My algorithm's gonna get messed up. Like, how do I look this up, dude? What? I'm potato. Teotihuacan gods. The gods of Teotihuacan. Oh, excuse me. The 11 most important. Oh, dude, my computer's infected now. Oh, God, come on, man. I can't just look at the gods list without having to go through all. Oh no. It's crazy. What deities were revered by the Teotihuacanos? The Teotihuacanos, dude. That's lit. Yo, how do I change my ads, bro? What is this? Get this man's arm out of here. It's the same ad over and over. Yo, these websites are cancerous. How do they even exist? Who made this? Is it like someone's uncle? All right, Quetzalcoatl. Is this the one you're thinking of? Quetzalcoatl? Tlaloc? Chow. Oh man, they need to have the pronunciations like right here. Oh, they have, okay. You get this one, you get Chow Kuhuli, Huhi Hutotol, and then you got Spider Woman. And then you have Fat God. I don't know, dude. This is going to be an interesting book. I respect it. Shoot. The Spider Woman was the goddess of darkness in the underworld. She was depicted wearing a headdress with the face of a green bird, similar to an owl or a quetzal. Oh, dude, that is not it, man. Oof. Scary gods. All right, back to the book. I think we might have seen it, man. Maybe it wasn't the titty cockle, but Tetzel cockle or whatever. You were close. The smoky mirror. 3,000 years ago, there was a human just like you and me who lived near a city surrounded by mountains. The human was studying to become a medicine man, to learn the knowledge of his ancestors, but he didn't completely agree with everything he was learning. In his heart, he felt there must be something more. One day, as he slept in a cave, he dreamt that he saw his own body sleeping. He came out of the cave on a night of a new moon. The sky was clear, and he could see millions of stars. Then, something happened inside of him that transformed his life forever. He looked at his hands, he felt his body, and he heard his own voice say, I am made of light. I am made of stars. He looked at the stars again, and he realized that it's not the stars that create light, but rather light that creates the stars. Everything is made of light, he said, and the space in between isn't empty. And he knew that everything that exists is one living being, and that light is the messenger of life, because it is alive and contains all information. Then he realized that although he was made of stars, he was not those stars. I am in between the stars, he thought. So he called the stars the tonal, and the light between the stars the nawal. And he knew that what created the harmony and space between the two is life or intent. Without life, the tonal and the nawal could not exist. Life is the force of the absolute, the supreme, the creator who creates everything. This is what he discovered. Everything in existence is a manifestation of the one living being we call God. Everything is God. And he came to the conclusion that human perception is merely light perceiving light. He also saw that matter is a mirror. Everything is a mirror that reflects light and creates images of that light. And the world of illusion, the dream, is just like smoke which doesn't allow us to see what we really are. The real us is pure love, pure light, he said. This realization changed his life. Once he knew what he really was, he looked around at other humans and the rest of nature, and he was amazed at what he saw. He saw himself in everything, in every human, in every animal, in every tree, in the water, in the rain, in the clouds, in the earth. And he saw what life mixed the tonal and the nawal in different ways to create billions of manifestations of life. In those few moments, he comprehended everything. He was very excited, and his heart was filled with peace. He could hardly wait to tell his people what he had discovered, but there were no words to explain it. He tried to tell the others, but they could not understand. They could see that he had changed, that something beautiful was radiating from his eyes and his voice. They noticed that he no longer had judgment about anyone or anything. He was no longer like anyone else. He could understand everyone very well, but no one could understand him. They believed that he was an incarnation of God, and he smiled when he heard this, and he said, "It is true. I am God, but you are also God. We are the same, you and I. We are images of light. We are God." But still, the people did not understand him. He had discovered that he was a mirror for the rest of the people, a mirror in which he could see himself. Everyone is a mirror, he said. He saw himself in everyone, but nobody saw him as themselves. And he realized that everyone was dreaming, but without awareness, without knowing what they really are. They couldn't see him as themselves because there was a wall of fog or smoke between the mirrors. And that wall of fog was made by the interpretation of images of light, the dream of humans. Then he knew that he would soon forget all that he had learned. He wanted to remember all the visions he had had, so he decided to call himself the smoky mirror, so that he would always know that matter is a mirror and the smoke in between is what keeps us from knowing what we are. He said, "I am the smoky mirror, because I am looking at myself in all of you. But we don't recognize each other because of the smoke in between us. That smoke is the dream, and the mirror is you, the dreamer. Living is easy with eyes closed, misunderstanding all you see. John Lennon. Domestication and the dream of the planet. What you are seeing and hearing right now is nothing but a dream. You are dreaming right now in this moment. You are dreaming with the brain awake. Dreaming is the main function of the mind, and the mind dreams 24 hours a day. It dreams when the brain is awake, and it also dreams when the brain is asleep. The difference is that when the brain is awake, there is a material frame that makes us perceive things in a linear way. When we go to sleep, we do not have that frame, and the dream has the tendency to change constantly. Humans are dreaming all the time. Before we were born, the humans before us created a big outside dream that we call society's dream, or the dream of the planet. The dream of the planet is the collective dream of billions of smaller, personal dreams, which together create a dream of a family, a dream of a community, a dream of a city, a dream of a country, and finally, a dream of the whole humanity. The dream of the planet includes all of society's rules, its beliefs, its laws, its religions, its different cultures and ways to be, its governments, schools, social events, and holidays. We are born with the capacity to learn how to dream, and the humans who live before us teach us how to dream the way society dreams. The outside dream has so many rules that when a new human is born, we hook the child's attention and introduce these rules into his or her mind. The outside dream uses mom and dad, the schools, and religion to teach us how to dream. Attention is the ability we have to discriminate and to focus only on that which we want to perceive. Excuse me. We can perceive millions of things simultaneously, but using our attention, we can hold whatever we want to perceive in the foreground of our mind. The adults around us hooked our attention and put information into our minds through repetition. That is the way we learned everything we know. By using our attention, we learned a whole reality, a whole dream. We learned how to behave in society, what to believe and what not to believe, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, what is good and what is bad, what is beautiful and what is ugly, what is right and what is wrong. It was all there already. All that knowledge, all those rules and concepts about how to behave in the world. When you were in school, you sat in a little chair and put your attention on what the teacher was teaching you. When you went to church, you put your attention on what the priest or minister was telling you. It is the same dynamic with mom and dad, brothers and sisters. They were all trying to hook your attention. We also learn to hook the attention of other humans, and we develop a need for attention which can become very competitive. Children compete for the attention of their parents, their teachers, their friends. Look at me. Look at what I'm doing. Hey, I'm here. The need for attention becomes very strong and continues into adulthood. The outside dream hooks our attention and teaches us what to believe, beginning with language that we speak. Language is the code for understanding and communication between humans. Every letter, every word in each language is an agreement. We call this a page in a book. The word page is an agreement that we understand. Once we understand the code, our attention is hooked and the energy is transferred from one person to another. It was not your choice to speak English. You didn't choose your religion or your moral values. They were already there before you were born. We never had the opportunity to choose what to believe or what not to believe. We never chose even the smallest of these agreements. We didn't even choose our own name. As children, we didn't have the opportunity to choose our beliefs, but we agreed with the information that was passed to us from the dream of the planet via other humans. The only way to store information is by agreement. The outside dream may hook our attention, but if we don't agree, we don't store that information. As soon as we agree, we believe it, and this is called faith. And to have faith is to believe unconditionally. That's how we learn as children. Children believe everything adults say. We agree with them, and our faith is so strong that the belief system controls our whole dream of life. We didn't choose these beliefs, and we may have rebelled against them, but we were not strong enough to win the rebellion. The result is the result is surrendered to the beliefs with our agreement. I call this process the domestication of humans. And through this domestication, we learn how to live and how to dream. In human domestication, the information from the outside dream is conveyed to the inside dream, creating our whole belief system. First, the child is taught the names of things: mom, dad, milk, bottle. Day by day, at home, at school, at church, and from television, we are told how to live. What kind of behavior is acceptable? The outside dream teaches us how to be a human. We have a whole concept of what a woman is and what a man is, and we also learn to judge. We judge ourselves, judge other people, judge the neighbors. Children are domesticated the same way that we domesticate a dog, a cat, or any other animal. In order to teach a dog, we punish the dog, and we give it rewards. We train our children whom we love so much the same way that we train any domesticated animal with a system of punishment and reward. We're told, "You're a good boy," or "You're a good girl," when we do what mom and dad want us to do. And when we don't, we are a bad girl or a bad boy. When we went against the rules, we were punished. When we went along with the rules, we got a reward. We were punished many times a day, and we were also rewarded many times a day. Soon we became afraid of being punished and also afraid of not receiving the reward. The reward is the attention that we got from our parents or from other people like siblings, teachers, and friends. We soon develop a need to hook other people's attention in order to get the reward. The reward feels good, and we keep doing what others want us to do in order to get that reward. With that fear of being punished and that fear of not getting the reward, we start pretending to be what we are not, just to please others, just to be good enough for someone else. We try to please mom and dad. We try to please the teachers at schools. We try to please the church. And so we start acting. We pretend to be what we are not because we are afraid of being rejected. The fear of being rejected becomes the fear of not being good enough. Eventually, we become someone that we are not. We become a copy of mama's beliefs, daddy's beliefs, society's beliefs, and religion's beliefs. And all our normal tendencies are lost in the process of domestication. And when we are old enough for our mind to understand, we learn the word no. The adults say, "Don't do this and don't do that." We rebel and say, "No." We rebel because we are defending our freedom. We want to be ourselves, but we are very little, and the adults are big and strong. After a certain time, we are afraid because we know that every time we do something wrong, we are going to be punished. The domestication is so strong that at a certain point in our lives, we no longer need anyone to domesticate us. We don't need mom or dad, the school or church, the school or the church to domesticate us. We are so well trained that we are our own domesticator. We are an auto-domesticated animal. We can now domesticate ourselves according to the same belief system we were given, and using the same system of punishment and reward. We punish ourselves when we don't follow the rules according to our belief system. We reward ourselves when we are the good boy or good girl. The belief system is like a book of law that rules our mind. Without question, whatever is in that book of law is our truth. We base all of our judgments according to the book of law, even if these judgments go against our own inner nature. Even moral laws like the Ten Commandments are programmed into our mind in the process of domestication. One by one, all these agreements go into the book of law, and these agreements rule our dream. There is something in our minds that judges everybody and everything, including the weather, the dog, the cat, everything. The inner judge uses what is in our book of law to judge everything we do and don't do, everything we think and don't think, and everything we feel and don't feel. Everything lives under the tyranny of this judge. Every time we do something that goes against the book of law, the judge says we are guilty. We need to be punished. We should be ashamed. This happens many times a day, day after day, for all the years of our lives. There is another part of us that receives the judgments, and this part is called the victim. The victim carries the blame, the guilt, and the shame. It is the part of us that says, poor me, I'm not good enough. I'm not intelligent enough. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not worthy of love. Poor me. The big judge agrees and says, yes, you are not good enough. And this is all based on a belief system that we never chose to believe. These beliefs are so strong that even years later, when we are exposed to new concepts and try to make our own decisions, we find that these beliefs still control our lives. Whatever goes against the book of law will make you feel a funny sensation in your solar plexus, and it's called fear. Breaking the rules in the book of law opens your emotional wounds, and your reaction is to create emotional poison, because everything that is in the book of law has to be true. Anything that challenges what you believe is going to make you feel unsafe. Even if the book of law is wrong, it makes you feel safe. That is why we need a great deal of courage to challenge our own beliefs. Because even if we know we didn't choose all these beliefs, it is also true that we agreed to all of them. The agreement is so strong that even if we understand the concept of it not being true, we feel the blame, the guilt, and the shame that occur if we go against these rules. Just as the government has a book of laws that rule the society's dream, our belief system is the book of laws that rules our personal dream. All these laws exist in our mind. We believe them. And the judge inside us bases everything on these rules. The judge decrees, and the victim suffers the guilt and punishment. But who says there is justice in this dream? True justice is paying only once for each mistake. True injustice is paying more than once for each mistake. Yeah. How many times do we pay for one mistake? The answer is thousands of times. The human is the only animal on earth that pays 1,000 times for the same mistake. The rest of the animals pay once for every mistake they make, but not us. We have a powerful memory. We make a mistake, we judge ourselves. We find ourselves guilty, and then we punish ourselves. If justice exists, then that was enough. We don't need to do it again. But every time we remember, we judge ourselves again. We are guilty again, and we punish ourselves again and again and again. If we have a wife or a husband, he or she also reminds us of the mistake. So we can judge ourselves again, punish ourselves again, and find ourselves guilty again. Is this fair? How many times do we make our spouse, our children, or our parents pay for the same mistake? Every time we remember the mistake, we blame them again and send them all the emotional poison we feel at the injustice. And then we make them pay again for the same mistake. Is that justice? The judge in the mind is wrong because the belief system, the book of law, is wrong. The whole dream is based on false law. 95% of the beliefs we have stored in our minds are nothing but lies, and we suffer because we believe all these lies. In the dream of the planet, it is normal for humans to suffer, to live in fear, and to create emotional dramas. The outside dream is not a pleasant dream. It is a dream of violence, a dream of fear, a dream of war, a dream of injustice. The personal dream of humans will vary, but globally it is mostly a nightmare. If we look at human society, we see a place so difficult to live in because it is ruled by fear. Throughout the world, we see humans suffering, anger, revenge, addictions, violence in the street, and tremendous injustice. It may exist at different levels in different countries around the world, but fear is controlling the outside dream. If we compare the dream of human society with the description of hell that religions all around the world have promulgated, I actually don't know that word, dude. What promulgated? Promote or make, well, I mean.
Promulgate.
Promulgate. If we compare the dream of human society with the description of hell that religions all around the world have promulgated, we find they are exactly the same. Religions say that hell is a place of punishment, a place of fear, pain, and suffering, a place where the fire burns you. Fire is generated by emotions that come from fear. Whenever we feel the emotions of anger, jealousy, envy, or hate, we experience a fire burning within us. We are living in a dream of hell. If you consider hell as a state of mind, then hell is all around us. Others may warn us that if we don't do what they say we should do, we will go to hell. Bad news, we are already in hell, including the people who tell us that. No human can condemn another to hell because we are already there. Others can put us into a deeper hell, true, but only if we allow this to happen. Every human has his or her own personal dream, and just like the society dream, it is often ruled by fear. We learn to dream hell in our own life, in our own personal dream. The same fears manifest in different ways for each person, of course, but we experience anger, jealousy, hate, envy, and other negative emotions. Our personal dream can also become an ongoing nightmare where we suffer and live in a state of fear. But we don't need to dream a nightmare. It is possible to enjoy a pleasant dream. All of humanity is searching for truth, justice, and beauty. We are on an internal search for the truth because we only believe in the lies we have stored in our mind. We are searching for justice because in the belief system we have, there is no justice. We search for beauty because it doesn't matter how beautiful a person is. We don't believe that person has beauty. We keep searching and searching when everything is already within us. There is no truth to find. Wherever we turn our heads, all we see is the truth. But with the agreements and beliefs we have stored in our mind, we have no eyes for this truth. We don't see the truth because we are blind. What blinds us are all those false beliefs we have in our mind. We have the need to be right and to make others wrong. We trust what we believe, and our beliefs set us up for suffering. It is, oh my God, I'm tumbling over my words right now. We trust what we believe, and our beliefs set us up for suffering. It is as if we live in the middle of a fog that doesn't let us see any further than our own nose. We live in a fog that is not even real. This fog is a dream, your personal dream of life, what you believe, all the concepts you have about what you are, all the agreements you have made with others, with yourself, and even with God. Your whole mind is a fog, which the Toltecs call a mitote, pronounced mitote. Call a mitote. Your mind is a dream where 1,000 people talk at the same time, and nobody understands each other. This is the condition of the human mind, a big mitote. And with that big mitote, you cannot see what you really are. In India, they call the mitote Maya, which means illusion. It is the personality's notion of I am. Everything you believe about yourself and the world, all the concepts and programming you have in your mind, are all the mitote. We cannot see who we truly are. We cannot see that we are not free. Again, mitote is your whole mind is a fog, which the Toltecs call mitote. I feel like I'm in a fog, honestly. Oh man, this sickness. That is why humans resist life. To be alive is the biggest fear humans have. Death is not the biggest fear we have. Our biggest fear is taking the risk to be alive. The risk to be alive and express what we really are. Just being ourselves is the biggest fear of humans. We have learned to live our lives trying to satisfy other people's demands. We have learned to live by other people's points of view because of the fear of not being accepted and of not being good enough for someone else. During the process of domestication, we form an image of what perfection is in order to try to be good enough. We create an image of how we should be in order to be accepted by everybody. We especially try to please the ones who love us, like mom and dad, big brother and sister, the priest and the teacher. Trying to be good enough for them, we create an image of perfection, but we don't fit this image. We create this image, but this image is not real. We are never going to be perfect from this point of view. Never. Not being perfect, we reject ourselves, and the level of self-rejection depends on upon how effective the adults were in breaking our integrity. After domestication, it is no longer about being good enough for anybody else. We are not good enough for ourselves because we don't fit within our own image of perfection. We cannot forgive ourselves for not being what we wish to be, or rather what we believe we should be. We cannot forgive ourselves for not being perfect. We know we are not what we believe we're supposed to be, and so we feel false, frustrated, and dishonest. We try to hide ourselves and we pretend to be what we are not. The result is that we feel unauthentic and wear social masks to keep others from noticing this. We are so afraid that somebody else will notice that we are not what we pretend to be. We judge others according to our image of perfection as well, and naturally, they fall short of our expectations. We dishonor ourselves just to please other people. We even do harm to our physical bodies just to be accepted by others. You see teenagers taking drugs just to avoid being rejected by other teenagers. They are not aware that the problem is that they don't accept themselves. They reject themselves because they are not what they pretend to be. They wish to be a certain way, but they are not. And for this, they carry shame and guilt. Humans punish themselves endlessly for not being what they believe they should be. They become very self-abusive, and they use other people to abuse themselves as well. But nobody abuses us more than we abuse ourselves, and it is the judge, the victim, and the belief system that make us do this. true. We find people who say their husband or wife or mother or father abused them. But you know that we abuse ourselves much more than that. The way we judge ourselves is the worst judge that ever existed. If we make a mistake in front of people, we try to deny the mistake and cover it up. But as soon as we are alone, the judge becomes so strong, the guilt is so strong, and we feel so stupid or so bad or so unworthy. In your whole life, nobody has ever abused you more than you have abused yourself. And the limit of your self-abuse is exactly the limit that you will tolerate from someone else. If someone abuses you a little more than you abuse yourself, you will probably walk away from that person. But if someone abuses you a little less than you abuse yourself, you will probably stay in the relationship and tolerate it endlessly. If you abuse yourself very badly, you can even tolerate someone who beats you up, humiliates you, and treats you like dirt. Why? Because in your belief system you say, I deserve it. This person is doing me a favor by being with me. I'm not worthy of love and respect. I'm not good enough. We have the need to be accepted and to be loved by others, but we cannot accept and love ourselves. The more self-love we have, the less we will experience self-abuse. Self-abuse comes from self-rejection, and self-rejection comes from having an image of what it means to be perfect and never measuring up to that ideal. Our image of perfection is the reason we reject ourselves. It is why we don't accept ourselves the way we are, and why we don't accept others the way they are. Prelude to a new dream. There are thousands of agreements you have made with yourself, with other people, with your dream of life, with God, with society, with your parents, with your spouse, with your children. But the most important agreements are the ones you made with yourself. In these agreements, you tell yourself who you are, what you feel, what you believe, and how to behave. The result is what you call your personality. In these agreements, you say, this is what I am. This is what I believe. I can do certain things, and some things I cannot do. This is reality. That is fantasy. This is possible. That is impossible. One single agreement is not such a problem, but we have many agreements that make us suffer, that make us fail in life. And if you want to live a life full of joy and fulfillment, you have to find the courage to break those agreements that are fear-based and claim your personal power. The agreements that come from fear require us to expend a lot of energy, but the agreements that come from love help us to conserve energy and even gain extra energy. Each of us is born with a certain amount of personal power that we rebuild every day after we rest. Unfortunately, we spend all our personal power first to create all these agreements and then to keep these agreements. Our personal power is dissipated by all the agreements we have created, and the result is that we feel powerless. We have just enough power to survive each day because most of it is used to keep the agreements that trap us in the dream of the planet. How can we change the entire dream of our life when we have no power to change even the smallest agreement? If we can see it as our agreements that rule our own life, and we don't like the dream of our life, we need to change the agreements. When we are finally ready to change our agreements, there are 4 very powerful agreements that will help us to break those agreements that come from fear and deplete our energy. Each time you break an agreement, all the power you use to create it returns to you. If you adopt these 4 new agreements, they will create enough personal power for you to change the entire system of your old agreements. You need a very strong will in order to adopt the 4 agreements. But if you can begin to live your life with these agreements, the transformation in your life will be amazing. You will see the drama of hell disappear right before your very eyes. Instead of living in a dream of hell, you will be creating a new dream, your personal dream of heaven. All right, we'll stop there. Interesting book. Four Agreements, Toltec Wisdom. I'm vibing with it. Spicy. All right. I'm just gonna follow what Kai's doing. This guy like uploading every day. Let's look at his YouTube. Let me see what he's up to. Because I feel like I need to rest. I'm still sick. How do I get these books in here? Okay, there you go. All right, let's look at Kai Cenat's YouTube videos. What was Kai's mind? I can never be a content creator. Just sitting there. Respect to Kai Cenat, man. What is this? All right.
Alright, so I'm reading Atomic Habits yet again. I'm setting a clock for 30 minutes
12, 22,
every day.
25. See, the thing is like he's uploading things, but they're not in order. I don't know what was. Today's the 14th. Right here. Everything was 4 hours ago, and he's wearing different fits. It's confusing.
It is currently January 1st
Okay,
of
January
2026, 12:34 p.m. And I'm
1st. What book is he
Kept-
reading? Atomic Habits. We'll get into that one. Might just have to double up and catch up, do Atomic Habits, and then jump into the other reading. All right, he's just going crazy. He's just uploading everything. Where is today's, my brother? Where is the one? January 7th. January 11th. Videos. Latest. Me creative directory. Who is uploading his videos, dog? It's full potato. Where is this guy at, dude? This guy's in a different setting every video. Be delusional, be obsessed with your dreams, creativity is everything. Jesse would love this guy. He needs to be on base. He just does it for the love of the game, which is insane to me. Here we go. 111. Reading for 1 hour to help me speak better. This guy just loves to upload content. Man. All right. The 12th. Here we go. The 13th. Working out. Should I upload some workout videos too? All right.
I'm reading to help myself speak. You take an inventory of all that you believe.
All right. So he's way further along, but we're on the same book at this point. So fire. Cool. I also want to sneak in the Bible too. I think we should start reading some scripture. I don't know if you guys are into that, but I want to do it, so I'm going to do it. All right. Anybody in here? Later, Hama Llama. Thanks for hanging out. All right. I'm going to stop recording.